Welcome to the Citywide PIP live stream on YouTube. Our citywide program has actually grown in the last several months. A lot of people are wanting to get involved with our program. And our members, the people that are logging in and watching this on live stream, along with many of our long-term members, are neighborhood stakeholders just like you, also civic members, church members, and many different retail groups. And of course, our deaf and hard of hearing community, our big members. Our mission is to interact with each other with a positive, productive relationship. We are sad to report that last week we lost one of our very important deaf PIP members. His name is Mr. Larry Rice. He passed away this past week. Our prayers go out to his family. For the time being that we don't have face-to-face meetings, even as a divisional PIP meetings, we are starting our Zoom divisional PIP meetings. So those of you that has not been to your divisional PIP meetings, we actually are going to start those back up as of this month. And so please contact your specific division, your PIP officer, and they will let you know the code to get into the Zoom meetings. So we want to make sure that our service is still available in your communities. If you have any issues, give us a call and we'd be more than happy to work with you. One very important announcement that I'd like to make, being that we are in the middle of the summertime and it's very hot, the temperature gets to 100 degrees, it's very important, and this is really sad to report, but Texas is the #1 leading of heat stroke deaths in cars. And, specifically, we're traveling around. You may go to a grocery store. You may have your children or your parents or other people in the car with you. And some people don't want to mask up. So the drivers will say, well, just sit right here for a couple minutes. Let me rush in. You never, ever want to leave your child or anybody in a car because you could have a mechanical failure on the vehicle. It could shut down and it can get deadly hot very quickly. So never ever leave anybody in a car, even though the engine is running, the air conditioner is blowing. Please don't do that because, as I indicated, Texas is the leader of the nation of heat stroke deaths. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our citywide PIP board chairperson, Joan Bouchard. Joan, you have the floor.
Hi, and good evening, and welcome to the live-streamed Chiefs Citywide PIP meeting and program. We would like to thank all of the citywide and divisional PIP members who have logged on and are watching this meeting from their communities. As some of the nation's police departments have been the focus of news recently, we here in Houston can proudly stand up and proclaim that we offer and have the Positive Interaction Program, PIP, in place to promote a positive relationship with every member of the community. And it is up to all of you in your community. You should take credit for what you do with the PIP program's success. At these citywide PIP meetings, the goal is to provide attending members information, and they in turn take it back to their communities. We'd like to introduce the invocation done by Chaplain Vince Johnson. Vince.
Good evening, family and friends. Let us pray. Dear kind and gracious Father, we thank you for another day. We thank you for allowing us to gather here today. We thank you for the partnership that we have established with the citizens of Houston. And we thank you for the Positive Interaction Program. We ask that you continue to lead us and guide us. Bless the leadership of the Houston Police Department. Bless the officers of the Houston Police Department. And bless the citizens of the city of Houston. This is our prayer. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Vince. Recently, many communities have discovered the PIP program and have contacted us wanting to know how to get involved and get started. In addition, many police departments nationally have also contacted us, and they also want to know how we have had our success, and they want to model a similar program in their city after us. Our success has been expressed by the following statement. We are a dedicated group of citizens and business owners working together with a dedicated chief and command staff, interacting together to reduce crime. And we would like to thank all of you for your participation to gain the growth and recognition from other cities and police departments. You should really be very proud. Next, I would like to introduce Chief Matt Slinkers. Chief, I know you have a few things to tell us.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Joan, and thank you to everybody that is joining us virtually online. We really look forward to the time when we will be able to gather again as a positive interaction program and as a group of concerned citizens and law enforcement professionals. And we know that that day will come, and we just need to weather this storm a little while longer together and do everything we can to protect one another as we go through this difficult time in our city, in our nation, and definitely around the globe. On behalf of Chief Art Acevedo and all of the men and women of the Houston Police Department, let me just tell you that some of the things that we're working on right now, some of the things that we're obviously concerned about is, if you've been paying attention, you've likely seen an uptick in some violent crime, not just in the city of Houston, but across the nation. We've been seeing that now for a month or more, and so it's something that we're definitely focused on. We have talked before about the increase we've had this year in homicides year to date compared to last year and the year previous, and so we are working on that diligently every single day. I know that Commander Zara will be sharing some crime stats with you in a little while during this meeting, and I know that you're also going to have an excellent presentation from Auto Theft Division. And so I look forward to you enjoying those presentations and continuing this dialogue that we have. We're also concerned about the violent shootings that have occurred over the last couple of months in our city and the uptick on that. So our crime suppression units and all of our employees are out there working hard despite the challenges that we're facing in this pandemic to make sure that we keep a handle on the violent crime and that we're responsive to your needs as a community. So we will continue to do that and continue to provide you updates in our battle against violent crime in the city of Houston. I also want to focus on something that Officer Svoboda said that's critically important as we are in this heat wave and during these summer months. We're always obviously hot in Houston, Texas, but it is so very important that you're looking out for family members. Obviously, do not leave anybody in a car unattended, or especially a child or even a pet. Please don't leave your pets in cars unattended. This heat definitely is a very dangerous situation for all of us. I would also ask that you watch out for your neighbors and that you be cognizant of those in and around your community who might not have options to help themselves, or they might not have access to air conditioning as readily available as some others, and then they might be suffering from this heat. Please make sure you take the time to check on our fellow citizens to make sure that we can keep everybody as safe as possible. Let me give you a little bit of information about how your police department is handling the pandemic and how we are responding as a workforce. Obviously, as you can see, we're typically wearing our masks on a daily basis in the workplace. We are continuing to come to work every single day and do our jobs. But there are challenges that we face because we as a workforce, just like the community, are also contracting this virus and becoming sick. But we have been able to keep our numbers in a state where we are still able to respond to your needs as citizens. So your police department is there. Your police department is out there working hard every single day. I would ask that you tune in on a daily basis if you can. Typically the Mayor Turner does a news conference typically every day about 3 o'clock to give the city great updated information about our response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And within your police department, here's some facts for you right now. As you know, we have about 5,200 officers on the Houston Police Department, and currently right now we have 214 that are in quarantine. I'm going to take this off for 1 second while I finish my comments. Thank you. We have about 214 that are in quarantine. Of those 214 that are in quarantine, we have 167 that are currently positive for COVID-19. Since we began testing year to date in the Houston Police Department, when employees become symptomatic or if they feel they've had a high-risk exposure, we've had 365 employees who have tested positive. But since that time, we've also had a great number of employees who have come back to work. We've also had 174 employees who have come back to work. But right now, so they've recovered, fully recovered, and come back. But we have 214 in quarantine right now, and that's 167 of those are currently positive, and the rest are pending results on testing. So, as you can see, our numbers still are concerning to us, but our numbers being where they are now, we are still able to respond and get the mission accomplished every single day that we need to for the citizens of Houston and be responsive to your needs. But please continue to mask up when you are out in public. Please continue to take all those necessary precautions and heed those warnings and those precautions that the mayor talks about every single day. And I know that we as a community will get through this together just like we always do in Houston, and we rise to the challenge and we get through these things as a tight-knit community. Also, I want to remind everybody that we do have one employee. Story was done last week on Sergeant Bazan. Sergeant Bazan still is in grave condition. He is getting the care that he needs, but we are still very concerned about his condition and his COVID-19 status and the respiratory problems that he's having. So please keep Sergeant Bazan in your thoughts and prayers. At this time, to my knowledge, we don't have any other Houston Police Department employees that are in a grave or critical condition like that. But like I said, we do have many who have been hospitalized recently and gotten out, and we do have many that are at home trying to recover at home and take care of themselves. So please keep Sergeant Bazan and his family in your thoughts and prayers. With that, I'll yield back to Joan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We just did it. We have added to the citywide PIP meetings the Crime Analysis Division, and this will be done by Commander Jonathan Zira, and this is the analysis report. So, Commander, if you would.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Joan, and good evening, everyone. So we're so glad that you could join us. I'm going to be reviewing some crime statistics this evening. But before I get started, I want to take a second to remind everyone of some of the caveats regarding these statistics. First, the numbers that you're going to be seeing are not the official crime statistics of the Houston Police Department. For the official crime statistics, please refer to the Houston HPD webpage. These are reported incidents. They're not fully investigated or fully vetted crimes yet. Second, many incidents have more than one crime. So what you're seeing are incident-based numbers. And what we do is we take the highest crime that occurred at any incident, and then we tabulate it for these statistics. Now, the last thing is that even though these are all incident-based, there was one exception to that, and the exception is the murder category. The numbers you're seeing for murder actually account for every victim of a murder in the city of Houston. So let's review the numbers. Each crime type indicates the number of incidents and the corresponding percentage change when you're comparing this year to last year. If you see a red, it indicates that the crime is doing worse this year, and green indicates that we're doing better than last year. So if we take and start with the top half of the chart, you can see that crimes against persons is up 11% compared to last year. The primary driver of this category is aggravated assaults. Although murders, kidnappings, and human trafficking are also up, it's aggravated assaults that are really leading the charge. Robberies are slightly better than last year, and sexual assaults are down by nearly 30%. I'm going to speak a little bit more about aggravated assaults in just a minute. If you look at the bottom half of the chart, you'll notice that this is crimes against property. And property crimes are down 6.3% compared to last year. Auto theft and burglary of buildings are the two crime types that are up in this category. Everything else is down, particularly burglary of habitation and fraud. Those are down quite significantly compared to last year. So I want to expound a little more on two of the problematic areas, aggravated assaults and auto thefts. right at 50% of all the aggravated assaults have a domestic violence component to them. That means that there is a familial or a dating relationship between the victim and the suspect. Of the incidents that are not domestic violence related, the top 3 locations for those types of incidents are road, street, and sidewalk, followed by residence, house, and third is apartments. This would indicate to us that the plurality of the non-domestic violence incidents are still have an associate relationship. It's a known, somebody that's known to the suspect, known to the complainant. Moving on to auto thefts, talking a little bit about auto thefts. So here you see the top types of vehicles that are stolen in the city this year. And you'll notice that almost all of these makes and models are trucks. The number 5 is Tahoe, and number 6 is the Honda Accord. You have to go all the way down to number 6 before you get to the first passenger vehicle. You're going to get a great presentation by Sergeant Hicks in just a minute, and he's going to get a little more into this. But I just wanted to show you where the auto thefts are occurring throughout the city. So here are the top 5 patrol districts where auto thefts are occurring. Now, these 5 patrol districts account for 33% of all the auto thefts this year. And if we dig down a little deeper into the little smaller geographic areas, each patrol district is made up of patrol beats. And so these are the top 10 patrol beats where auto thefts are occurring in the city. Now, these top 10 beats account for the geographic area that accounts for 23% of all the auto thefts in the city. And if we overlay the districts and beats, you're going to see that not every patrol beat is in one of the top patrol districts, but you do see a lot of adjacency. So there's a lot of areas where top prolific areas are adjacent to other top prolific areas. And these are the things that our auto theft division is focusing and concentrating on. So that's all I have with regard to the statistics. I want to remind you that if you want information specific to your neighborhood, I recommend that you reach out to your PIP coordinator to your respective patrol division. You can also visit this webpage here at www.crimereports.com. And you can find out reported crime incidents that are specific to your neighborhood through this website. Thanks for joining us this evening, and now I'm going to turn it back over to Joan.
Thank you. Our featured presentation this evening is by Sergeant Tracy Hicks from the Police Department's Auto Theft Crime Task Force. And the topic is auto theft trends. Probably not a good word. This informative presentation will inform you what to do to make yourself safe, keep your vehicle safe, and less of a target. Sergeant?
Yeah, it works.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sergeant Hicks with HPD's Auto Theft, and I've been to this central PIP meeting a couple times, but it's been a while. And, you know, it's the topic of the day, actually. You know, if you remember the stats that we saw, you know, we talked about murders, robberies, rapes. Those are real big things. But the numbers that a lot of people don't want to talk about were, did everybody notice the BMVs were like at 19,000, and that's year to date, so that's for the last 6 months, and then about 18,000 this year, 19,000. Thing about auto theft is people don't really, you know, understand that the types of, the types of crimes that are committed because of auto theft. You know, the robberies and stuff, people use stolen cars to do that. Things have changed a little bit this year. You know, the numbers, it showed BMVs were actually down a little bit. You know, we obviously have the COVID now. So March, April, May, we're actually doing really good. Our numbers had went down quite a bit. But as things opened back up, people got back out to the restaurants, and now we're seeing a huge spike in the BMVs and the auto thefts because the cars are back out there. And now more than any time is to remind people that, and that's why I'm glad I came this month, is because, we're just opening up, and to remind people, we all know it, and it's all common sense, is, not leaving stuff in your car. And when people were at home, we didn't have the BMVs because people weren't out. The places where these people go, the restaurants, the gyms, they were all closed, but now they're open back up. And the crooks have, been sitting at home idle, not making any money. And guess what? They're back out there. So we had talked about, the number one vehicles and stuff. This was actually last week at a little chop shop that we went into, and it was all Chevy trucks. We have just about, well, actually, all of the other trucks totaled don't actually even add up to the amount of Chevy trucks that are stolen. The Chevy, the GMC, the Tahoes, the Cadillac Escalades, they all have the same motor. They all, basically the same vehicle. So those vehicles all added together are what everyone's stealing now. The times have changed. I'll show you a couple of pictures here. This was from last Wednesday, actually it was. And we had 6 recovered Chevy vehicles. I think one was a GMC. And this is the way we found them. Everything's been stripped out. The VIN numbers have been pulled off. The stacks of tailgates, tires. This was actually another place here about a month ago. We recovered, I think, about 5 there. And they're all 2017 and newer Chevy trucks. That seems to be the favorite. It used to be the Fords. All the Fords have figured out, it's not as easy to steal. The older vehicles, maybe, if you have a 2008 or older, those are still real popular. But the crooks really like the 2017 to 2020 Chevy trucks. So I tell my friends, my family, people I know that have them, if you have a Chevy truck, please do a little extra. If it's a kill switch, if it's some sort of an aftermarket plug that, it disables the ignition, or just simply the old-fashioned club, having a steering wheel lock of some sort. Slows them down. A lot of times people think, well, that can be defeated. Yeah, but there's so many Chevy trucks out there that hopefully, they see yours and they're just going to bypass yours and go on to the next one. So that's the whole idea with that. So we had this place here was actually just a storage lot. And we caught some guys, actually, they were in the process of stripping this white one right here. They were unscrewing the stuff, and this was a couple of trucks they had right there. I think we got like 5 stolen, nope, that was all of them. About 5 stolen Chevys there. And we're out there all the time. We're finding these Chevy trucks. A lot of them are sold online. Some of them are stripped, so there's different crews out there doing different things. We keep arresting them, and there just seems to be a new crew popping up all the time. In auto theft, we actually do a lot more than just the auto thefts. We do the car break-ins, but there's a couple of new crimes that have kind of popped up over the last year and a half, 2 years. Things have changed in auto theft as far as like what people are stealing in our cars. It used to be, I've been in auto theft 14 years. It used to be, everyone stole laptops. It was always laptops, everyone stole a laptop. Laptops aren't worth the money anymore. So we're having a lot of cars broken into that people are actually leaving the laptops behind. What crooks are looking for now, their number one target is guns. Those numbers you saw, like the real, 18,000 BMVs, a lot of those were cars that were broken into, but nothing was actually stolen. We're having, last year we had a big rash of them. A lot of apartment complexes would report 30, 40, 50 cars broken into, and only one of those cars reported anything missing. And that's what those people were actually looking for, guns. I actually have done a couple of videos online. If you check our Facebook page and scroll back and look for a few videos, look for my pretty face. You'll find some, actually did some about guns and what you can do to kind of, protecting your gun. I know everybody, we're in Texas, everybody's got a gun, but as well as I do, there's a lot of places you can't take your gun. So, you know, the 51% restaurants, you know, the restaurants slash bars, and obviously bars, there, you know, your kid's school. There's a lot of other places you don't want to take your gun, and leaving your gun in the car is not an option, you know. So if you're a person that normally carry conceals, look into getting a gun safe for your vehicle. They actually have, they're very inexpensive. Mount in your trunk, mount behind your seat. There's some that mount into the glove box or into the center console. You know, that few $100s to have that peace of mind is priceless. Because I mean, you know as well as I do, you know what those bad guys are actually going to do with those guns. We had the numbers were little over 2,300 guns stolen last year. That was, I mean, from like January to December. It's like around in December is when I did that video. If you go through and look back, and it shows some examples of some of the gun safes, you know, you can get for your cars. So go back through Facebook and find those videos that talked about gun safety and you know, keeping those guns safe. The other thing, the other new crime that's kind of coming up, I actually did a video just last week, and if you probably find it on there just a couple videos back, was what we call sliders. And for the people that haven't seen it, I'm going to actually play a slider video that's actually from that video, an actual video of what we call sliders. Give me 1 second for you, or just hit pause. Right there, perfect. What sliders are, it's kind of a term we come up with, describes, they normally target women, and it's at gas stations, grocery stores, pumping gas, putting your groceries away, is when you're not paying attention, is they slide out of their vehicle, slide into yours, grab your purse. At the grocery store, you know, you put your purse in the car, and then you go back to the trunk, you're loading your groceries up, and they're getting into your passenger side, grabbing your purse and going, you're not even aware that they were even here. So these are actually videos of actually current cases that, this one here, the slider, the bad guys are here on the left, and the complainant, the female, is in the truck. She's actually over on the side of her truck pumping her gas. So go ahead and hit play on that. And so I cut off the beginning of it, but there he is. There's our crook, and this is why we call him sliders. He slides over there, opens her passenger door, even leaves it open, drives away. And you know what? You don't see her run out. She doesn't even know it happened. That's what's scary. Okay, here's another one here. The crooks just pulled in. This lady here is actually in her driver's door. She's doing something inside there. Oh, there she is. So these guys see her, and they just do a little loop around. She's back in her car, and they'll just sit there. And these guys drive up and down the freeways. I actually cut the video. She was actually in her car for about a minute there. She goes around the other side, and watch that back door. Back door comes up. It's kind of dark, but he flips his hood up, slides on over. Watch, you can even see her purse. She's got her purse right there. And she doesn't even see it. And they're off. This crime right here is kind of on the rise. Couple reasons. I think it's new, and people don't realize it can happen to them. If it ever does, obviously, you know, they prevent stuff like that. It's such a preventable crime. You know, locking your doors, you know, when you get out, is number one. But, you know, carrying your purse with you, you know. So we've actually, you know, when we're following these guys, you know, in undercover cars, we've actually watched guys get out, pull on a door, and it's locked, and then get back in their car and drive away. And I wish I could stop and, you know, tell these ladies, like, wow, you have no idea. You know, I want to give her a sticker or something, you know, like a reward. Like, hey, you did a great job. You have no idea. But I'm still following these bad guys until they, you know, go and get into someone else's car. So the sliders, watch my video on sliders on the Facebook page. The other crime that's kind of on the rise that we want to warn people about that auto theft is dealing with. And a lot of TAC teams are out there, what we call juggers. The juggers are people that are following people from the banks. And it used to be 10, 15 years ago, you know, we would have jewelry store owners and stuff get followed, or, you know, big bank people, business people would, you know, do their big deposit on Friday and they would be followed. But now these guys are just parking outside of a bank. They're watching, and their targets, mostly females, elderly, women with small children. You know, you're carrying a baby or a small toddler with you and you go in the bank, because those people aren't going to fight back. So those are the people that they're sitting outside the bank and they're waiting for. They see you go to the ATM machine, you get some money, and when you pull out, they follow you, hoping that you're going to go to a Walmart or somewhere nearby, you know, to do some shopping. You went and got some money, and when you stop, you know, you put your keys in your purse, you might answer a text message, sitting in the car, you turn the key off, and when you open your door, your driver's door hits his thigh because he's standing right there. Give me that money. And it's scary. And, you know, if you have your kid with you, you know, are you going to fight him? You going to argue with him? No. And that's what they're hoping for. A lot of these guys, sometimes you'd be surprised, you know, they've lost people in traffic before. People have been real lucky, you know, and they'll, if they get desperate enough, these guys are following people all the way to home. And I tell people, I say, well, and people ask me all the time, well, what should I do if I think I'm being followed? And I always tell people, I say, you know what, look for a fire station, look for a police station. You pull into a fire station, you go inside and you say, hey guys, I think somebody's following me. Mind if I hang out for 10 minutes? They'll be glad to help you guys out. Same thing in a police station. You want to go, or, you know, you just don't know where you're at and you don't have one, find a really busy place where there's a lot of people and, you know, and ask for help. And, you know, but don't, you know, if you think you're being followed, you know, do the loop around the block, you know, go around a block and see if that person's still back there. So just being aware. I tell my wife, I tell my friends and family the same. I'm done with ATMs. ATMs just aren't worth it, especially females. If you got kids with you, do not go to the ATM. And that includes the drive-throughs, the drive-through ATMs, because they'll sit outside those and wait. They don't sit in a bank a long time. They, you know, 10 minutes or so, and then they move on to the next. And if you know the way the city's designed, there might be a corner that has 3 banks on it. They hit all 3, and then they move 2 blocks down, and there's 3 more banks down there, and they just keep rotating. And they're looking for their targets. So, very preventable crime. The thing about auto theft is, I mean, you saw it. It's the #1 crime. I mean, as far as numbers, it's always going to be there. But yet, it is out of all the crime there is, it's the easiest crime to prevent. You know, not leaving anything in your car. You know, when these crooks get out there, they repeat. You know, I made money here. They're going to keep going back there. So, you know, if they don't make any money there, then they stop going there. You know, so you know, not leaving stuff in your car, yeah, you might get a broken window, but you know what? They don't get anything, they're going to find a new target. Does that make sense? I'm used to talking to like a large group, and I have a lot of feedback. I have like 6 people in here for the people at home, and you know, most of them are behind cameras, so it's kind of hard to get feedback. I love the feedback. I miss it. But this is the new way. You know, we're all going to have masks and we're all going to come video. I'm actually going to be doing a lot more videos, so keep watching on Facebook. And look forward to, you know, next week I'm actually going to do a video about buying vehicles online, what to look for. I look forward to doing those. I'm learning all about video, and we're actually going to do our PIP meetings. I'm actually going to do the individual PIP meetings via Zoom. So looking forward to new changes. I think actually a lot more people are going to see these than actually come to the PIP meetings. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. We've had really good feedback. We actually had a couple of test ones, and the turnout was actually more. So, you know, people being able to just log in as opposed to actually, you know, coming and, you know, coming out at night to come to a PIP meeting. So that's kind of cool. I don't have any questions. Oh, there we go. Normally ask questions at this time, but we don't really have any questions. Turn it back over to John. Yeah, turn it back. Okay. And here's Joan.
Thank you so much. That was excellent. On behalf of the Citywide Board, the divisional PIP officers, and the entire command staff, we would like to say thank you to all the PIP members that are watching, even those that are not watching, because they've missed a lot. This is excellent today. You're involved in your neighborhoods and this program, and the main goal is crime prevention. Everybody knows you get the motto, so here we go. If you have the time, you get involved. If you don't have the time, you make the time. It's your neighborhood and your city. There is one thing that we would like to leave with all of you this evening. And to close this meeting, James, you do not have anything else, right? Okay. Be smart. And by being smart, you follow the rules. The rules are face coverings, distancing at least 6 feet, washing hands frequently, and please stay safe. We want to see everyone in September, our next meeting. And also, thank you all for the people that are sitting in this room to put this on. It takes a lot of work, and we do appreciate that this can get through to our members. Thank you. Have a good evening.